Hello? Hello? What? What? Whoa. No. You tease. Whoa. So I stopped my last recording session just staring at this mountain. It seemed like a natural place to hang out, because I thought that was going to be the very next thing I did. But someone mentioned that there may be something left in the castle that I haven't finished yet, so I wanted to take a look around there to see what I'm missing, and I just turn around and I'm like, that sure looks like a maze. We just gotta figure out how to make that one cloud not rainy. Wow. So these clouds, so you can manipulate their position based on how they're placed, basically. So as you walk around, you can try to make certain ones line up through careful movement. That one's like they're just messing with you at that point, huh? They make that one the most obvious one ever from wow. Wow, immediately it's so scattered, like I would never even try to attach those clouds together. The specificity of trying to line some of those up is going to be agonizing, because looking at it right now, I wouldn't even think to line them up. And then, like, as you walk all the way over there, they just happen to orient themselves. Anyway, I'm here to explore the castle to see if I'm missing anything around here, and see if something pans out there. Huh. Gotta find a way to make that one cloud not brown. I mean, not gray, either by making it rain somehow, which seems unfeasible, like to deplete the content, or to somehow, I don't know, look at it through a point of view that removes the color. Oh, I want to show you guys something really quick. I found out about a little Easter egg in this game. Really minor. It's the type of thing that I wouldn't have known myself, but I just saw mention of it somewhere. This right here is the same. It's supposed to be like virtually the same identical like silhouette you see on the cover of Myst, a game that this game obviously is heavily inspired by. That game has a falling man on its cover. I think I played Myst when I was like 6 years old or something a long time ago. I don't have much memory of it aside from being very confused by it and not even understanding what the puzzles were, but I was also a child, like definitely young, but I believe that's the same silhouette that you see on the cover of that game. So it's just a fun little reference. There's little men like that all over the place in the oil, like I pointed out from before when I walked past this front gate not too long ago. But that very specific one is the one that has the matching pose. Oh, there it is. Okay. We did that maze, and I just walked right in here, but right over here I can see stairs. Sometimes I'm shocked by the way that, just due to the sheer complexity of this island in general, how surprisingly possible it can be to just overlook a detail. So there's just a staircase. Oops. With a gate, which just leads to the shaded forest. Alright, well, we're back in the forest. I should do a look around here at some point for finding more hidden puzzle pieces that might be around here, but not really what I set out to do. Is that all that's here? Huh. Yeah, that's all blocked up. Huh. I mean, yeah, technically something I missed. At least that's done with, but that was underwhelming. Yeah, I've looked up and down the castle, and I don't see anything else around. I guess that's all that people were referring to, is that when they said I missed something was just that one door. That didn't really amount to much. Hello, octopus. To the mountain. Alright. At long last, let's enjoy our trek up the mountain. I believe, especially with the town laser, that I have now accomplished every single laser in the entirety of the campaign. At least on this open island area pointing at this mountain. I don't know if there's going to be like other lasers later or something, but let's just go ahead and revel in this success. Oh yeah, if I walked in a specific pattern, it looks like I could make that laser. I could turn that into the ball that starts a maze. But let's see where this path on the mountain finally takes me. On this mound of columnar jointing, as it were. Taking me back down. Gotta loop a bit. Hello, headache elevator. The first puzzle that it took a very actually still the longest time consuming puzzle in the game. A lot of people said that, like, all you need to do is to solve this is like, hey, these are 5 different colors, right? So just draw a pattern that isolates all of them and you're set. I'm like, yeah, technically true, I suppose. But, I'm still happy with my solution for that. That's still wide open down there. There could still be puzzles involving this place, and especially since there's, like, I think, windows that change the color of outside environments that might have an impact on something. But we'll see about that later. Up this colorful mountain we go. Been putting it off for so long, but I think it's time. Because I think I've solved either every or nearly every puzzle panel on the open island, and almost certainly every laser on the open island. It's actually kind of satisfying to look down. So here we are on top of the statue again. Let's get a view of all those lasers. There were not that many last time. Wow! That's really cool looking when they're all parallel, or nearly parallel lines. That's all of them except for like 1 or 2 of them that are behind the mountain. That's a very straight. That's like maybe down a little more, like this, like that. That right there is a desktop wallpaper. I think it's just such a weird, surreal sight. Yeah. So last time we didn't have the swamp one for sure. We didn't have the treehouse one because we hadn't been there. We had the castle, I think, and the shaded woods, but we didn't have the quarry. We didn't have the town. We didn't have the bamboo forest. So like only like 3 of these lasers were here last time I walked up here, and I'm glad that I didn't. I'm glad I turned around because I got so much done, and it's satisfying to look at. And they're all going to that one point. It's really clever. In a game that has no spoken word aside from the obvious tutorial elements, that almost looks like a path from here. It has no spoken word aside from the tutorial. I mean, aside from the videos that you watch that aren't related to the gameplay. Directly at least. This is a good element to both give you a goal, because the lasers all point to one spot, so you're like, oh, that must be where the game wants me to go ultimately. But also, the more lasers you have pointing at the same spot, the more it hypes up that location. Is that a mountain climber? There's a hiker with a big backpack, there's somebody else up top. This path keeps going, but there's also a side door? Where do you go? Oh, you look complicated, don't you? We have 2 different colored dots. Yep, I can't cross my own stream, so we have a parallel line. And we have black and white. Judging by the number of different elements being used here and how isolated this location is, I'm going to go out and venture a guess that this is a vault with a recording behind it. This would be number 5? So we found 5 out of 6, I think, with 1 more completely unfound so far. Okay, so we need to look at this thing to figure out a solution. So, judging by our colors, I get the feeling... I don't know, do the dot colors matter? Part of me wonders, like, am I supposed to grab both of the same color while also drawing a line that the other line can grab both of the same color of? I could give that a shot. So for example, grab you first, but then specifically try to grab the other one, which is right here for yellow. And because I did that little corner at the beginning, I've already grabbed the other one with the yellow line, right? That is the right spot, right? It's 3 from the corner? Yes. So by going here, I've grabbed both of those things with the yellow line that I can't see. So now, my only really goal should just be to... How far can I go? Not that far? Oh, I can't isolate the... So before I do that, let's work about isolating the black and white from each other. So, right... The black is 3 over, so this is black? Yes. So let's just loop down to grab the black. Now the black is isolated from the white piece, which is right here, for example. Can I just loop like that and grab them both? Would that get in the way? Let's see, go up here, grab the yellow. Oh, wait, no. Go over... Oh, I trapped myself so I can't escape at the end is the problem. Okay, so that's not going to work. Let's leave this white one alone for now. We'll go up and grab the yellow. So now every dot's grabbed except for the one in the top corner. And I just need to separate black from white, which I think I could just do by doing this, right? There we go. That was an easy one. It's been a while since I saw... Whoa, that looks cool. It's been a while since I solved a vault puzzle where I didn't have to stop and stare at it for a while, and my silence is cut out in editing so you guys don't see just how long I stare at it. But that was a pretty simple one, actually. Just had just a few trial and error things. I'm definitely better at those solutions where I can draw my line and then just keep making minor alterations to my line until like as a work in progress until it fits. It's the ones where I have to completely figure them out from scratch to even start drawing that gets really tough. Alright, this is a beautiful sight. So, oh, this is the yellow drainage. Oh yeah, we saw this. This is where all the yellow's coming out of on the side of the hill, I think. It kind of goes down the side of the hill weirdly, if I remember correctly. It also has the same... It also, besides looking like a sewer drainage, like from the Silent Hill movie or something, it also has... It gives me the feeling of the sky prison that Tyrion Lannister is kept in the first season of Game of Thrones, where it's just, you're just locked in a prison cell, which taunts you with freedom because there's open air right outside your cell. But if you go out that opening, you die. Although in this case, you might be able to get down there without dying. Maybe. But I don't see a puzzle. I don't think... This thing keeps looking suspiciously like the beginning of a puzzle, but it's not enclosed enough. Nope, just visually striking. Gimme, gimme. Alright, we have one more. Let's go ahead and write this one down. Alright, I've got you sketched out. Let's go ahead and wander on back to the theater. I use this as sufficient excuse to build more suspense about the top of this mountain, both for myself and the audience. Well, the audience that hasn't just already played the game themselves. One last thing. The I almost said penultimate, but yeah, kind of penultimate if you act like the mountain's the end, but there's got to be a lot more game, because they said 700 puzzles, I think, and I am at, like, what am I at? 388 plus 68. So either you can say I'm at 400, or you can say I'm at 450. I don't know yet if the environmental puzzles count towards the total, but considering how long we've played and how big of a percentage of them they seem to take up so far, I think they probably do count. Alright, it's time to enter our fifth puzzle. Let's see. Hold up our diagram in a way that fits... Ooh, upside down from the perspective I drew it at. Right around here. Then up and around, and then it's... Is it there? No, one more. Right there.
So it's absolutely simple what I have to say to you. It's what my teacher said to me. And I'm still deeply discovering the reverberation of that. And it's simply stop looking for what you want. Not cynically stop looking for what you want. Because there's a way of stopping looking for what you want in resignation and cynicism and closing down. But innocently, openly, stop looking for what you want in this moment. Not tomorrow when you have it. But in this moment, to take one moment, whatever it is you want, however mundane or profound, and just stop looking for it. And you will find more than what you could ever want. Because more than what can be wanted is already who you are. It's too simple to be grasped, but absolutely, completely realizable. If, and it is a huge if, of course, you are willing to give up your hope that what you want will be found in the next thought, or the next activity, or the next day, or the next man, or the next woman, or the next teaching, or the next experience. So that's huge. That's the challenge. And I've blessedly traveled to Australia to challenge you in that direction, that directionless direction. It's so simple that it has to be said over and over, because it just slips right by the mind. And if it's said over and over and in enough ways and then not said, it can just be revealed. Not as something new, but as something absolutely fresh. Not new, but fresh. Who you are is not new, but it is always fresh. Who you think you are is old and dead. We just keep trying to think it a little better, squeeze some life. Is that clear? It is? Because that's really the basis of what I have to say. It's not a teaching. It's not a belief system. It's not a way to live your life. It's not a should stop. It's not an if you stop, you will be rich and famous and universally loved and never have a sad moment. None of that, I promise. But if you're willing to investigate for yourself without believing it or learning it or hoping to get something from it, just a pure investigation out of the natural curiosity of the human mind, just to investigate for yourself what is here when I stop trying to get anything, and how much of that is here. And where does that begin? And where does that end? And then the question, am I willing to trust that? And then the challenges get very big. But we'll get to that later. Any questions about what I just said? Want me to say it again? You already are everything you want, only maybe not in the way you imagine what you want. And it's that imagination itself that keeps you from discovering that you already are everything you want. So if you just take this evening as an experiment to give up any imagination, any image of what you need to be totally fulfilled, just give it up. It's just an image, just a thought. Maybe a spiritual thought, maybe a worldly thought, a relationship thought, career thought. Just give it up. And directly discover what's here, unthought, unimagined. How's that? Good. Good.
Mixed feelings on that one. Oh, it's the last one. Interesting orientation they have there. There's a lot of takeaways of various parts of that. So they talk about the concept of basically freeing yourself from your constant worries and your goals and what you're striving for and what you imagine yourself to be, both idealistically and in your future. Getting a better job, losing weight, finding the love of your life, being taller, like just anything along those lines, anything you're unhappy with about your current state that you wish could be better or different, both reasonable and unreasonably. And how, yes, that can often be a healthier way of processing things, and it can improve yourself in a number of ways. And those are all valid things to mention. But at the same time, you also need to strive for things in various ways in order to move forward. And oftentimes moving forward is both useful and necessary. So it's not, like most things that are said in most of the recordings we've seen, nothing should be taken as absolutes necessarily. It's just a bunch of ideas and concepts. And I went the wrong way around this mountain just now. Whenever you're running along this place, you get a sudden idea of how condensed this whole... Is that a thing? No, it's just some random rock. You get an idea of how condensed and small this place is when you're not constantly solving things all over it, which is actually kind of nice. On a really minor offshoot, there was one thought that came to mind, which is that when she was talking about whatever you're looking for, just stop. Obviously, she elaborated in a way of talking about life goals and your imagined version of yourself that's always better than what you actually are and stuff like that, and belittles the value of what you are in your head. But I also came to the thought of the from the idea of a scientific pursuit or even just solving a puzzle. Stop if you just keep observing and fiddling with something, and you stop looking for a solution, or you stop looking for a specific answer, that's often when you find the answer. And like you shouldn't, like it's good to ask a hypothesis, for example, as part of the scientific method, but you're not supposed to do science, which is a terrible sentence. You're not supposed to proceed in any sort of scientific system for the specific goal of just confirming what you think the truth is already. And similarly, like when you're solving these puzzles, if you get too dead set on the idea of what a solution is, even though it's not working yet, it's got to be one of them. You can't even click on it. If you get too dead set on an answer, you may never find the real answer because you're too committed to some element that doesn't actually belong, and so on. There's a lot of things to take from everything in general, but anyway, columnar jointing. There's the vault door. Let's pass this point. This goes out for a little bit. Kind of expect to see some outcrop I could click on, but not necessarily. Or a recording tucked away around here. No such luck this time. Ooh, we're getting hazy up here. Oh, is that snow? We're getting snow. Okay. It's not a visual I would ever expect. Columnar jointing plus snow. I think I've just never experienced it before. Are they part of a surveying team? That's what they have. That's a total... He's looking through a total station. She? He? She, I think. Hello. But they're totally observing through a total station. I've actually worked with one of those before. Oh, look, there's a panel over there.
Up there, you go around every hour and a half. Time after time after time. You wake up usually in the mornings, and just the way that the track of your orbits go, you wake up over the Mideast, over North Africa. As you eat breakfast, you look out the window as you're going past, and there's the Mediterranean area, and Greece, and Rome, and North Africa, and the Sinai, the whole area. And you realize that in one glance, that what you're seeing is what was the whole history of man for years, the cradle of civilization. And you go around down across North Africa and out over the Indian Ocean and look up at that great subcontinent of India, pointed down toward you as you go past it. And Ceylon off to the side, Burma, Southeast Asia, out over the Philippines, and up across that monstrous Pacific Ocean. Vast body of water. You've never realized how big that is before. And you finally come up across the coast of California and look for those friendly things. Los Angeles and Phoenix and on across El Paso. And there's Houston. There's home. And you look, and sure enough, there's the Astrodome. And you identify with that, you know? It's an attachment. And down across New Orleans, and then looking down to the south, and there's the whole peninsula of Florida laid out. And all the hundreds of hours you spent flying across that route, down in the atmosphere, all that is friendly again. And you go out across the Atlantic Ocean and back across Africa. And you do it again, and again, and again. And that identity, that you identify with Houston, and then you identify with Los Angeles, and Phoenix, and New Orleans, and everything. And the next thing you recognize in yourself is you're identifying with North Africa. You look forward to that. You anticipate it. And there it is. That whole process begins to shift of what it is you identify with. When you go around it in an hour and a half, you begin to recognize that your identity is with that whole thing. And that makes a change. You look down there, and you can't imagine how many borders and boundaries you crossed again and again and again. And you don't even see them. At that wake-up scene, the Mid-East, you know there are hundreds of people killing each other over some imaginary line that you can't see. From where you see it, the thing is a whole, and it's so beautiful. And you wish you could take one from each side in hand and say, look at it from this perspective. Look at that. What's important? And so a little later on, your friend, again those same neighbors, another astronaut, the person next to you goes out to the moon. And now he looks back and sees the Earth not as something big where he can see the beautiful details, but he sees the Earth as a small thing out there. And now that contrast between that bright blue and white Christmas tree ornament and that black sky, that infinite universe, really comes through. The size of it, the significance of it, it becomes both things. It becomes so small and so fragile, and such a precious little spot in that universe that you can block it out with your thumb. And you realize that on that small spot, that little blue and white thing is everything that means anything to you. All of history and music and poetry and art and war and death and birth and love, tears, joy, games, all of it is on that little spot out there that you can cover with your thumb. And you realize that that perspective, that you've changed, that there's something new there. That relationship is no longer what it was. And then you look back on the time when you were outside on that EVA and those few moments that you had the time because the camera malfunctioned, that you had the time to think about what was happening. And you recall staring out there at the spectacle that went before your eyes. Because now, you're no longer inside something with a window looking out at a picture. But now you're out there, and what you've got around your head is a goldfish bowl, and there are no limits here. There are no frames. There are no boundaries. You're really out there, over it, floating, going 25,000 miles per hour, ripping through space, a vacuum, and there's not a sound. There's a silence, the depth of which you've never experienced before. And that silence contrasts so markedly with the scenery and the speed with which you know you're going. That contrast, the mix of those two things, really comes through. And you think about what you're experiencing and why. Do you deserve this? This fantastic experience? Have you earned this in some way? Are you separated out to be touched by God to have some special experience here that other men cannot have? You know the answer to that is no. There's nothing that you've done that deserves that earned that. It's not a special thing for you. You know very well at that moment, and it comes through to you so powerfully that you're the sensing element for man. You look down and see the surface of that globe that you've lived on all this time, and you know all those people down there. They are like you. They are you. And somehow you represent them when you are up there. A sensing element, that point out on the end, And that's a humbling feeling. It's a feeling that says you have a responsibility. It's not for yourself. The eye that doesn't see does not do justice to the body. That's why it's there. That's why you're out there. And somehow you recognize that you're a piece of this total life. You're out on that forefront and you have to bring that back somehow. And that becomes a rather special responsibility. It tells you something about your relationship with this thing we call life. And when you come back, there's a difference in that world now. There's a difference in that relationship between you and that planet, and you and all those other forms of life on that planet, because you've had that kind of experience. It's a difference, and it's so precious. And all through this, I've used the word you because it's not me. It's not Dave Scott. It's not Dick Gordon, Pete Conrad, John Glenn. It's you. It's us. It's we. It's life. It's had that experience. And it's not just my problem to integrate. It's not my challenge to integrate, my joy to integrate. It's yours. It's everybody's. Russell Schweikart, 1975.
Wow. That's actually probably my favorite use of an audio recording in this game so far. I believe I've heard that quote before, especially the part about blotting out the earth with your thumb. I don't know if I've heard the quite extended version of that, because it definitely went on for a bit longer than I remember. But it's so perfectly located at this one part where you've been solving each individual tiny piece of this island one at a time, spending an hour at least in each of these little segregated things you can see, these places that you can't even quite see the boundaries between, but you recognize them as these individuals. And they're all diverse chunks, but they all create one great whole. And this is the first time, aside from maybe that statue you had earlier, that you can really see top down, like all of it, all at once. They were very specific in their placement here, where if you see the left side of the screen over there, you can actually, yeah, you can see all the way to the vault for the first audio recording we ever found on the left side of the screen there. And the castle, and the quarry, and the shaded woods, and the swamp, and the tree houses, and the river, and the bamboo forest, and the town, and the desert, and the glass studio, and the bay with the dock on it, and the weird lonesome tree that's just sort of there. Maybe it has a puzzle that I haven't found yet. And it's all just here in one great perspective simultaneously, just as you're hearing this quote about seeing the planet from space, and being told that all these things are individual chunks, but then just seeing it as one big mass of color all at once. And that's immediately striking. Immediately. Also, this is definitely, yeah. Well, I was staring at this river the whole time. I'm like, that has to be something, right? There you go, river. The whole time that we were listening to that, I'm like, that river sure looks like it's going to turn into a puzzle if I move a little bit. Do any of these clouds turn into obvious puzzles around here? Not at the moment. But that was a perfect use of quote, and they placed it perfectly so you'd grab it right when you're looking in this angle. I'm happy that happened. And we turn around for the first time on top of this mountain, and we see, what am I looking at? I don't know what I expected, but it wasn't this probably. All the lasers are pointing at one point under an archway. 3 archways to be accurate, well, although it's only under one of them. What are all these people here for? So you're doing a surveying job right now of some kind. Getting GPS, getting coordinate information. And are you... He's got a computer. He's holding... She's got a computer. She's holding her head. That looks like a small trowel or a almost like a paint, something you'd use to chip off paint or something. This laser's right here. Can I block it? Did they specifically made it so you can't block the laser by making that cutout, didn't they? I don't think you can quite cover your head with it, but it's right here. This is the closest we've ever been to the laser that happens in this game. I gotta scour this place for details. Alright. These two are arguing about something. She looks very angry. He looks defensive. He also looks like he's awfully close to falling, if we're supposed to think that these people are physically present here at the time. He's got a book. And who knows what it could be. You could double interpret this either way. Some people might think that's just textbooks in general. Some people might think it's the Bible. And you could completely flip-flop who you think the aggressor here is in the situation, and for the most part, the answer you find is just going to be a mirror into your soul more than anything else. There's the dock down there. There's that little crashed ship we saw. We'll save you for a moment. What is it? Little lone flower we've seen a few times. What's this guy? Same thing again. He's also got a computer. He's also got the weird... What is that? Is it a mirror? Maybe it's a hand mirror, like they're trying to reflect lights? But or maybe it is for like chipping stuff off. I'm not sure what that thing is. There's our first top-down view of that location. Some of these come so close to being puzzle pieces. Ah, look, they're climbing. They must have not had a path or something, because they're climbing manually. And frankly, this is an incredibly unreasonable thing to try to climb on, because it's all like there's maybe the stone steps weren't there at the time, but climbing up columnar joining seems kind of unreasonable to me. Not that I climb in general very much. Hello, you. We'll get to you in just a second. Is this guy... He's definitely at a what's it called, a pulpit? I don't think that's the right word for it. He's at a stand. He's giving a speech. And once again, you could either think that he's some kind of preacher, or you could think he's a politician, or even a foreman. Although the way, yeah, maybe he has plans. He could be some kind of foreman who has plans physically located over there that he's referring to for us. What do you do? Does it turn off the river? It's shaped exactly like the river. Did anything move? Huh. I'm wondering why there is a path. I wonder why this thing would be shaped exactly like the river. That is the same pattern. What purpose does that serve? Is this a box that opens? Does it have another recording inside of it? Oh. It does not. I'm powering this place on. Oh, there's people on it. That person's all... He's got the black concrete look instead of this white one. It's got a different pattern to it. It looks like he was climbing the pillars, the archways. This guy's hammering it as if he's trying to destroy it. Not wearing a shirt. Giant hammer. Is he trying to crumble it down? Does he think it's evil? Does everyone have different opinions on what this thing is and what it means, and they're all trying different things with it? Some people studying it, some people trying to destroy it, some people worshipping it. This weird relic, which may or may not have led to the end of the world for all we know. That also looks like a piece of puzzle I could line up with something on this guy's back. Like that. Like this. Maybe. Oh, it goes down. Wow. Hey. That was a weird one, huh? Okay. Found one on top of that person. That guy's climbing. There's another guy climbing. He's already up top of that archway. No one made it to the top of the other ones. It looks like they're a little tougher. That looks like a point too. If I look at it from a certain perspective, does it get more dot-shaped? Oh, look at it from this perspective. There we go. Down we go. What if I try this too? There we go, 2 more. This thing also looks like a dot, but I don't know if it would line up. We found 3 already on this thing. That's a good start. Oh, there's one that goes down there too, that I might be able to line up with something. Somewhat unclear. Can I touch this laser? Nope. They very specifically don't let you touch the lasers. Alright, to investigate that. So what's the deal here? Oh, you guys are gonna be a problem for me. So as I try to solve this puzzle, they're standing on top of it, which limits where you can click, right? Because you can't go through their physical bodies as they get in the way. Okay, so I need to plan out a path that goes start to finish in a way that isolates the black from the white. Well, this first option's really easy. I can do this. That'll separate the black from the white. Oh, is he stepping on one too? He is stepping on one. Never mind. It's harder than that. Okay. Let's see here. Trying to think this out a little bit. That isolates that one. This isolates the white one. But that, if I do this, there's still the white and black up there that are creating problems for me. And I can't just go up and down because we can't make it past the film reel in this case, which causes me more problems. Is there some way to get across in a reasonable manner? The ideal thing would be to go up and just draw a line all the way across. Yeah, it's hard to get them both isolated. Huh. Yeah, this is iffy. So we're mixing multiple layers here. We have well, part of it's just a regular maze, but part of it is separating colors, and part of it is definitely a perspective puzzle. And that's where things get real iffy sometimes. So, oh, is this it? I think I just found the solution. Line it up here, cut this one white off. Yeah, cut the white off, go down here, then isolate the other white, and then solve. Oh, you have to solve it 3 times. That's what we're doing here. Oh, man. Okay, this one's going to be a doozy. Alright, so we solved one that ends there. Now we need to solve one that ends here, and one that ends here. Wow. Okay. Finding ways to isolate them is going to be interesting. Let's see. I was going to say I could just do this. Whee! No, that's the same problem as before. Never mind. Yeah, how do I... Let's see here. So I can wrap up around these, for example. Not great, actually. Huh. This one's gonna take a while, I think. So can I cut this off in a way where it goes and wraps around, touches the edge here to cut off the black on the corner? Could even go like this if I wanted to. No. Still have to deal with the other black piece, though, which is here to be a problem for me. Unless I could loop around and also touch this other corner. Nope, because it still doesn't separate the starting piece from it. Alright. So if I loop around the black piece, I can isolate that. And then if I come up here, I can isolate the white piece by looping... Yeah. That's both white pieces isolated. Oh, shit. Nailed it. Try that again real quick. Good. Good. 2 down. We're close. What's gonna happen to these poor guys? What are they doing exactly? He looks all serious. And slightly Jack Nicholson-y. And this guy is... done with this bullshit, apparently. Whoa, this thing's covered in symbols. Is that every... Are those every symbol in the game? That's the reflective symbol. That's the radiation symbol. That's just that's the hexagon. Some lines, basically. They definitely seem to represent the concepts. Okay, so last solution we need is right here. We just draw a line somehow that isolates both colors and gets there. Where do I even want to start? Okay, things look like they might be a little simpler from here. Maybe right around there. Draw a line to isolate white. Go around behind black. Nope. Can't isolate white again here. Unless I can stand in a slightly different position that allows me to loop around a bit. Like that. Isolate white. Behind black. Little more. Little more. Come on, give it to me. No. Do I need to back up more? Will that give me the leeway I need? Not quite. Come on. Nope, I can't go past. If I keep going like this, I'm gonna get in trouble. Because now I can go here, but now I'm trapped here. I specifically need to not use this corner, because I need to be able to turn around. I need to touch this corner, basically, to isolate this white piece, but also be able to come back over here. And that doesn't seem possible at the moment. Wait, I don't need to do that. I just need to get... Yeah, I don't need to go straight out there. This corner works fine. So then... Huh? Touch the corner. Come back. Good. Oh, here it comes. Alright.